Have you ever heard of a rebellion led by two sisters? Not just led, but one where they commanded an army of 80,000 soldiers and appointed dozens of women as their generals? This isn't a fantasy novel. It's one of the most powerful true stories in history, a tale of courage, defiance, and national pride from first-century Vietnam. This is the story of the Trung sisters. To understand their incredible rise, we need to go back in time to the 1st century CE. For over 200 years, Vietnam, then known as the region of Jiaozi, was under the rule of the Chinese Han dynasty. This wasn't a gentle occupation. The local Vietnamese people were subjected to heavy taxes, forced labor, and a constant pressure to abandon their own culture and adopt Chinese customs. The Han governors were often corrupt and brutal, exploiting the land and its people for their own gain. Resentment simmered just beneath the surface, waiting for a spark to ignite the flames of rebellion. That spark came from a noble family in the Minh Linh district. Near modern-day Hanoi, the family had two daughters, Trung Trac, the elder, and Trung Nhi, the younger. From a young age, they were not raised to be passive or subservient. Their father, a powerful local lord, ensured they received an education that was unheard of for women at the time. They learned literature and history, but more importantly, they were trained in martial arts and the strategies of warfare. They were skilled fighters, charismatic leaders, and deeply connected to the suffering of their people. Trung Trac was married to a man named Trac, who was also a nobleman with a fiery spirit and a deep hatred for the foreign occupiers. Together, they shared a vision of a free and independent Vietnam. They saw the injustice around them and began to secretly plot a rebellion. The local Han governor, a man named Su Ding, was notoriously cruel and greedy. He heard whispers of Trac's rebellious activities and, fearing his influence, decided to make an example of him. In a brutal act of suppression, Su Ding had Trac publicly executed. He thought this would crush the spirit of the rebellion and instill fear in the hearts of the Vietnamese people. He could not have been more wrong. The death of her husband did not break Trung Trac. It forged her into an icon of resistance. Standing before a crowd of grieving and angry people, she delivered a legendary oath, a pledge that would echo through the centuries. She vowed to avenge her husband, to drive the Han oppressors from their land, to restore the independence of their nation, and to rebuild the fallen Han dynasty of their ancestors. Her words were a call to arms, and her younger sister, Trung Nhi, stood right by her side, vowing to fight and die with her. Word of their defiance spread like wildfire. People from all walks of life, farmers, artisans, scholars, and local lords, flocked to their banner. What was truly remarkable was the number of women who joined their cause. The Trung sisters didn't just lead the rebellion. They created an army where gender was no barrier to valor. They appointed 36 women to serve as generals, including their own mother. This was a revolutionary concept, a testament to the high status of women in pre-Sinicized Vietnamese society. Their army, which swelled to an astonishing 80,000 soldiers, was a force to be reckoned with. With Trung Trac as their queen and supreme commander, they launched their offensive. They moved with incredible speed and strategic brilliance. One by one, they captured Han citadels and administrative centers. The Chinese garrisons, accustomed to ruling over a subdued populace, were completely caught off guard by the ferocity and organization of this popular uprising. Within months, the sisters had liberated an incredible 65 cities and reclaimed the entire territory of Jiaozi. The governor Su Ding, the man who had murdered Trung Trac's husband, was forced to flee, cutting his hair and beard to disguise himself as he escaped back to China. For the first time in over 2 centuries, Vietnam was free. Trung Trac was proclaimed Queen Trang, establishing her capital back in their home of Minh Linh. For 3 years, the sisters ruled their independent kingdom. They worked to abolish the unjust Han laws and taxes, restoring a sense of justice and cultural pride to their people. It was a brief but golden era, a taste of the freedom they had fought so hard to win. But the Han dynasty was a superpower, and the Emperor Guangwu would not tolerate such a blatant challenge to his authority. He was humiliated by the defeat and determined to crush this female-led kingdom. He amassed a massive professional army, led by one of his most brilliant and ruthless generals, Ma Yuan. Ma Yuan was a veteran commander known for his tactical genius and his relentless campaigns. In 42 CE, the massive Han army crossed the border, equipped with superior weapons, cavalry, and naval support. The Trung sisters knew they were vastly outnumbered and outgunned, but they refused to surrender. They rallied their forces and met the invaders head-on. They fought with incredible bravery, leading their troops from the front lines, often mounted on war elephants, a fearsome sight on the battlefield. For over a year, they waged a desperate and heroic defense. They employed guerrilla tactics, using their knowledge of the local terrain to their advantage. But the sheer size and discipline of Ma Yuan's professional army were overwhelming. The Vietnamese forces were slowly pushed back, suffering heavy losses. Despite their courage, the tide of the war turned against them. Finally, in 43 CE, after a series of devastating defeats, the sisters found themselves cornered, their army broken. Facing certain capture and the humiliation of being paraded as prisoners of the Han, they made their final choice. According to the most enduring legends, they reached the Ht River. Rather than be taken alive, they chose to preserve their honor and the spirit of their rebellion. Together, as they had lived and fought, they took their own lives by drowning themselves in the river. Their rebellion was over. The Han reconquered Vietnam, and Ma Yuan imposed even harsher controls to ensure such an uprising would never happen again. On the surface, it looked like a failure, but it wasn't. The story of the Trung sisters was not buried with them. It became the foundational myth of Vietnamese resistance. Their sacrifice ensured they would never be forgotten. They became immortal symbols of national pride, courage, and the unyielding desire for independence. They weren't just rebels. They were queens, warriors, and patriots who proved that the spirit of their people could never truly be conquered. Throughout Vietnamese history, during every subsequent struggle against foreign domination, the story of the Trung sisters was told and retold to inspire new generations. Temples were built in their honor all across Vietnam, and an annual festival is held to commemorate their lives and their sacrifice. They are revered not just as historical figures, but as sacred guardians of the nation. Their story challenges our perceptions of history. It reminds us that leaders can come in any form, and that the fight for freedom is a universal human story. The Trung sisters may have only ruled for 3 years, but their legacy has lasted for 2,000. They are a powerful testament to the idea that even in defeat, a legacy of courage can light the way for future victories. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of incredible figures from history. Let me know in the comments what other historical heroes you'd like to learn about. See you in the next video.